Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Commander's Crypt. I've got an awesome video for you today. I have put together, in my opinion, the best Zuladoc Void Gorger deck. What I have done with this guy is I have put a lot of removal in this deck, about 33 plus cards that are removal. Some of the removal spells you can keep using over and over again. And I believe that this is the best build for this commander. You have to get very creative when you are dealing with colorless creatures and spells. So I believe that the best way to build a Eldrazi colorless deck is to have a lot of removal. If you don't, you're gonna have a hard time against other decks. This deck is very strong if you play into its strengths, and so I'm going to show you how I've built this, and I have play tested it, and it is very strong. It has some infinite combos in it, card draw, and like I said, lots of removal. A lot of decks just die to removal. So here we go. Zuladoc Void Gorger. He's 1 colorless and 5. Colorless spells you cast from your hand with mana value 7 or greater have Cascade, Cascade. I absolutely love this. What you want to do in this deck is you want to get him out and then start casting those big spells, and your board will be populated very, very quick. I have played this deck multiple times and it works very, very well. For some of the infinite combos, we've got the Forsaken Monument Basalt Monolith combo. We've also got the Staff of Domination and the Metal Worker combo. Metal Worker is an all-star. It is one of the best mana rocks there is, if not out there. I call it a mana rock even though it's a mana dork, because it's so far beyond mana dorks that it is in the class of Basalt Monolith and Staff of Domination. If you're playing against somebody and they play a Metal Worker, you better kill it very quick, because something wicked your way comes. The other day I was playing this deck, and there is Necroma's Memorial in here, which I will show you. I had it out and I had a creature out and somebody windfalled for 26. I already had the Haster out there, so with that 26 cards, I played Metal Worker. It had haste, and I had 16 artifacts in my hand. I proceeded to make 32 artifacts and dump my whole hand of fatties with Myriad and win the game. I'll show you that later as we go on. But Metal Worker is an all-star. Now, I know you're noticing that this is a gold border. You know, Commander is a casual format, so I think if you can pick them up, I would. For 25 bucks to get this guy is a pretty good deal. And like I said before, with Staff of Domination, you just go infinite and win the game. I'll show you other cards that Forsaken Monument, Basalt Monolith, and Staff of Domination and Metal Worker combos work with. And there's one of them right there, Rocket Launcher, one of my favorite cards. Rocket Launcher is from the second or third set that ever came out for Magic, called Antiquities. This card does not get played enough. They're very cheap. I would pick them up if I were you. Let's read it. It says, 2: do 1 damage to any target. Rocket Launcher may not be used until it begins a turn in play on your side. If it is used, Rocket Launcher is destroyed at end of turn. So you play this out, and then later on, if you get your combo, you fire it off and win the game. And if you don't, it sits out there, it adds to your artifact count, but then later you could use it as creature removal or player removal. I highly recommend this card. This is a very, very good card that's criminally underplayed. A next card that goes with the infinite mana combos is Walking Ballista. This card kind of needs no introduction. It's crazy awesome. XX Walking Ballista enters the battlefield with X+1 counters on it. Remove a +1 counter on it. It deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Again, you can just win the game with an infinite mana combo with this. But also you could play it. The other day I played a Walking Ballista, and it was a 2/2. And then as the game goes along, you can 4:, put a +1/+1 counter on Walking Ballista, just tick this thing up. And it costs nothing to remove the counters. So you can just keep ticking it up and fire it off when you need it. Very, very awesome. And more removal. More removal that a lot of people probably haven't thought about is Mimic Vat. For 3 colorless, it has imprint. Whenever a non-token creature dies, you may exile that card. If you do, return each other card exiled with Mimic Vat to its owner's graveyard. 3 tap and create a token that's a copy of a card exiled with Mimic Vat. There you go. This is a very awesome card, especially in colorless decks, because if a badass creature gets destroyed, you get it, and now you get to use it. But then also there's other tricks that you can do with this guy. You can, if a card like Duplicant comes out, you can imprint that, and then once a turn for 3 mana, make a token of Duplicant and exile the baddest opponent's creatures every turn. Or you could do that with Meteor Golem. So Mimic Vat can give you cards of your opponents that will help you immensely, or you can copy cards that will give you removal, like Meteor Golem, and there's some Annihilator creatures in here that I will show you later that also counts as removal. So you can just, with Mimic Vat, just keep throwing down a Meteor Golem token or a Duplicant token and exile or destroy something every turn. Transmogrifying Wand, very good card. With Karn's Bastion, you could just every turn for 1 mana destroy the most problematic creatures. You could just destroy all of your opponent's commanders. Sword of Sinew and Steel, this is also removal. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has pro, black, and red. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target Planeswalker and up to 1 target artifact. So every turn, you're going to be able to swing with something into somebody with this guy and destroy 1 or 2 permanents every turn. Again, more removal. Argentum Masticore. This card does not get played enough. 5 mana. First strike, pro for multicolored. So this guy already is a 5/5 first striker for 5. At the beginning of your upkeep, sack him unless you discard a card. When you discard a card this way, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to the mana value of the discarded card. So if there are permanents out there that are causing you problems, you can play this, and you can continue to discard cards to destroy those problematic permanents. And then if you don't need them anymore, you just quit discarding cards and he goes away. But he is a amazing blocker. He gets through. He's got pro for multicolored. It's almost impossible to kill this guy. So there you go. More removal. Oblivion Stone basically wipes the board. Again, if you're in a infinite mana situation, you could fire this off, put counters on your things you don't want to get destroyed, fire this bad boy off, and then blow up everybody's stuff except yours. And here at the Commander's Crypt, we absolutely love one-sided board wipes. Portal to Phyrexia, more removal, 9. When Portal to Phyrexia enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. At the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It's a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. So there you go. For 9 mana, you've got removal. And then you're able to take the baddest creatures out of the graveyards and put them to your side. Very, very awesome. And like I said before, with Zuludak, these cards aren't hard to play, and there's a lot of mana rocks in this deck. You're going to be able to play these big spells, no problem, and they're going to cascade into other bigger spells. Unstable Obelisk, more removal. It's a mana rock, but then also you can sacrifice it to destroy a target permanent. There's also a trading post in here, which allows you to take artifacts out of the graveyard, so you could keep playing these as well for more repeatable removal. Karn Liberated. +4, target player exiles a card from his or her hand. -3, exile targeted permanent. And -14, restart the game. I'm not a big fan of that one, but if that's what you want to do, great. When you restart the game, you get all those exiled cards that Karn has liberated from your opponents. So there you go, more repeatable removal. Ugin the Spirit Dragon, so strong. 8 mana, +2, deals 3 damage to target creature or player. So satisfying to wipe out commanders with this guy. Exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less that's 1 or more mana. This is 1 or more colors. This is an all-star. Every time I play this, I just about always play that X ability. I exile everything on the board, and I've still got counters left on this thing, and then I start whacking out players or creatures with the +2 ability. -10, you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Next, we got Ulamog, Ceaseless Hunger. He is also removal. When you cast him, exile 2 target permanents. There you go, he's indestructible. Whenever he attacks, defending player exiles the top 20 cards of his or her library. Very, very strong. Very, very amazing. Next is Ominous Cemetery. This is a land that for 5, you exile it. Target creature's owners shuffles a target creature into their library. So it basically exiles a problematic card like a Chroma or any other indestructible that's out there. Next is Blast Zone. Enters a battlefield with a charge counter on it. It does not come into play tapped, so that is awesome. XX, put X counters on Blast Zone, and then 3 tap it, sack it, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value equal to the number of charge counters on Blast Zone. I kind of wish you didn't have to put that counter on it, because if it came on into play with no counters, you could just fire this bad boy off and wipe out all of the tokens on the battlefield. Another card I play with a lot is Ratchet Bomb. It does the same thing. For 2 mana, you play it, and then once you fire it off for 0, it destroys all tokens. Next is Spine of Ish-Sha. For 7 mana, when it enters the battlefield, destroy target permanent. When this is put into a graveyard, return it to its owner's hand. There's ways to sacrifice this guy to put it back in your hand and repeatedly destroy permanents with this. Again, more removal. Ugin the Ineffable for 6. Colorless spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. +2, exile a top card of your library, face down, and look at it. Create a 2/2 colorless spirit creature token. This came in the deck as well. This basically allows you to draw cards. It allows you to manifest cards, and then when you block with them, you get to put those cards in your hand. -3, more removal. Destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colors. All is Dust. This is one of the best sorceries ever made. Tribal sorcery, Eldrazi. Each player sacrifices all permanents in control that are 1 or more colors. Again, this card is an all-star. When I fire this off, this usually wins me the game or cripples my opponents so badly that it's very hard for them to recover. And they sacrifice it. It is not an exile. Rise of the Eldrazi, another removal spell. And again, these spells are not hard to cast. When you cast these, you get double cascade, and you are going to be way ahead of everybody else. They're going to be losing permanents, and you're going to be gaining 2 permanents. So it'll be a net minus gain of 3 every time you destroy a permanent by casting a spell and cascading. Rise of Eldrazi, destroy target permanent, can't be countered. Target player draws 4 cards, take an extra turn after this one. Very, very strong. It allows you to draw cards, which you need in colorless decks. Flayer of Loyalties, he is also removal. He's got Annihilator 2, he takes another creature and gives them Annihilator 2, 10 and trample. And so there you go. That is more removal at your disposal. Basically, when you cast this guy, you get the biggest, largest, most problematic creature, makes it bigger, trample, and Annihilator 2, more removal. Ulamog the Infinite Gyre, more removal. When you cast them, destroy target permanent, Annihilator 4, very, 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 very fantastic. Bane of Balaged, Whenever he attacks, target player exiles 2 permanents they control. There you go. More removal. Path Razor of Ulamog. Annihilator 3 can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. If they don't have 3 creatures, he cannot be blocked. He's a 9-ball that gets in, and he is Annihilator 3. Next is going to be It That Betrays. Annihilator 2. Same thing, you get those cards after they're exiled, so more removal. Lithoform Engine. This can also count as removal. Copy target activated or triggered ability. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. Copy target permanent spell you control. So this guy can double your Annihilator triggers and also can double your permanent spells. So you could put out 2 Path Razors, 2 It That Betrays. Very, very awesome. You could copy the Rise of Eldrazi Sorcery. Give yourself 2 turns, draw 8 cards. Really, really awesome card in this deck. Mirage Mirror came in the deck. Very fantastic card. The other day I had a Blightsteel Colossus out, and I played this, copied the Blightsteel. I had a Lightning Greaves in play, gave it haste and whammo, took 2 players out in one fell swoop. Mirage Mirror is an all-star in this deck. You can copy anything. Very, very, very good. Argentum Armor, another very fantastic removal spell in this deck. Equipped creature gets +6/+6 whenever creature attacks, destroy target permanent. More repeatable removal. Lux Cannon. For 4 mana, you get a artifact that can destroy target permanents after it has 3 charge counters on it. Again, if you have a Karn's Bastion, you're able to proliferate. You will be able to repeatedly destroy the most problematic things out there. Arena, you've probably never seen this card. Very, very strong card. Again, it's very, very old, circa 1994. You had to send coupons that came in books to get these cards. Mana Crypt was one of those original cards. That's how you got Mana Crypt back in the day. You actually had to buy the Magic the Gathering novels and then send the coupons in, and then you got the card. But anyway, Arena is a very, very strong card. Again, it's underplayed. It is repeatable removal. For 3 and tap this, you get to have 2 creatures fight. Whether they are tapped or not, go check the errata on them, on this card. You're always going to have the biggest creatures. So, once a turn, you can have your creatures fight and destroy the biggest, most problem. Whittle down somebody's board, or if they have just 1 or 2 creatures, take out their best creatures. Next is Emrakul, the Promised End. This is also removal. When you play this, you take over an opponent's turn, and that means you basically take all his creatures and swing into somebody else and have all of his creatures die. You could use all his removal spells to kill all his stuff. This is another removal card. The beauty about this also is a 13/13. It has protection from instants, flying, trample. And it is 1 less to cast for every type of card in your graveyard. I'm constantly casting this guy for 8 or 7 mana. Very, very awesome card. Cybermen Squadron. I have this card in here. Non-legendary artifact creatures you control have Myriad. So once you have this out, your creatures have Myriad, and rules lawyers, let me know if you copy, Meteor Golem or Duplicant, if those tokens also have ETBs, let me know. But again, this is more removal, and it's definitely player removal. I copied 10 artifact creatures and swung at everybody and won the game with this guy. Steel Hellkite, more removal. Flying gets +1. He's got fire breathing. X : destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X. So you could, for 0, kill tokens, or kill these permanents that people have that are causing you problems. Then there's Clay Golem, more removal. He's a 4/4 for 4, which is good conversion, but 6, roll a d8, monstrosity X, where X is the result. So he gets bigger. He could become as large as a 12/12. And then Berserk, when he becomes monstrous, destroy target permanent. Then we've got, I just got some extras in here. This isn't removal, but this helps you keeps you around. Your life total can't change. Akroma's Memorial. This card is an absolute all-star in this deck. I highly recommend it. It's fun having Emrakul and Ulamog being trample, first strike, flying, pro-red and pro-black. It's very devastating. Blackblade Reforged, player removal. Thran Temporal Gateway, get your legendary Eldrazi out much faster. Whisper Silk Cloak, you're going to have to protect your commander. So another thing that happens with this deck, Mithril Coat also protects your commander. Lightning Greaves also protects your commander. One thing that happens a lot with this deck is you're actually going to kill a lot of players with commander damage. Because Zuladoc is a 7/7 creature, 3 strikes and an opponent is out. And if he's flying with an Akroma's Memorial or, Whisper Silk Cloak or something, or you pump him up with a Blackblade Reforged, you could take out opponents with just 2 hits. And then I've got Geode Golem in there in order to be able to cast your commander quicker, or later in the game help you recast him. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed my Zuladoc build. This is a really, really, really fun deck. I absolutely love it. I've got, like I was telling you before, I've got a Blightsteel Colossus in there. I've got a Metalwork Colossus in there. He's amazing. Stone Coil Serpent. Infinite mana, make him a million. Endbringer's very strong as well. Allows you to draw cards and ping opponents. Ancient Stone Idol. Skittering Kakaida is a very, very good card. I was amazed at how good this card is. Allows you to flash in your permanents, but then also you can pump them up if you want to. Artisan of Kozilek allows you to cast creatures out of your graveyard. Kozilek Great Distortion allows you to counter stuff and draw cards. I've got a Scavenged Brawler in here to give somebody flying and lifelink. Soul of Phyrexia. He allows you to keep your permanents indestructible. And Darksteel Monolith, very, very strong card. And Trading Post I put in there. Trading Post is an all-star as well. If you're getting toward the end, you can start discarding cards to gain life. The other day, someone went to Lightning Bolt me. I only had 2 life left. In response, I did the Trading Post and was able to live, and that kept me in the game, and I ended up winning the game. So there you go. I hope you like my Zuladoc build. I think it's the strongest that you can get. I believe that you've got to have a lot of removal in this deck in order for it to be competitive. If you want, go check out my website, thecryptneworleans.com, and you'll see that my prices there are better than Amazon.com, and it helps out the channel. So we will see you on the next Commander's Crypt New Orleans.